Hello, I'm Jim Boberka. I'm the Habitat Chairman of the Lehigh Valley Chapter of the Ruffed Grouse Society. Recently, the Pennsylvania Game Commission presented a habitat project to our local chapter. Their request was to combine our efforts, both physically and financially, to provide new successional forest growth here in southeast Pennsylvania. The main beneficiary of this project, the ruffed grouse. We are about to take you to northern Lehigh County, where a logging road is being created to allow tree cutting crews to access and clear cut approximately 130 acres of woodland so that new habitat can take root and provide the necessary food and cover for our wonderful state bird.
We're out here on Game Lands 217 this morning in northern Lehigh County, and we're on phase one of what's going to probably be a three-step process to create early successional habitat here on the Blue Mountain. And when I talk about early successional habitat, that's habitat that's probably less than 20 years old. There's a lot of animals that need that type of habitat. This morning I'm out here with the Ruffed Grouse Society, and obviously the ruffed grouse is the Pennsylvania state bird, and its really key component is that early successional habitat. And here on the Blue Mountain where we're at right now, you can see that we're in a mature stand of trees, and while these trees aren't that large, they're actually over 100 years old. So our goal here is we're going to cut 130 acres over the next 3 winters, and when we're done we should have a 130 acre block of early successional habitat that'll be good for everything from white-tailed deer, ruffed grouse, and a whole host of different passerine songbirds, possibly even including golden-winged warbler. So the goal of this project is to take this here mature stand of timber that's behind us and turn it into some really early successional seedling sapling stage habitat. Now to do that, we're about 5,000 feet from the road that we came in on this morning. We were able to build 4,200 feet of road with a contractor that the Game Commission paid for. And right now we're here using our own equipment to push in another 4,000 feet of road. This isn't road that's going to be used by a logging truck or anything like that. We're going to be able to come in here with our own equipment, 4-wheel drive trucks. And this quality of this stand unfortunately isn't good enough that we can sell it. So over the next 3 winters, the food and cover crew are going to come in. Our goal is to cut around 35-40 acres a winter, and by the time we're done, this whole block will be cut. The way this project originated was we recently completed the comprehensive management plan for this game lands, and one of the species that we're managing for is ruffed grouse. When we looked at the age distribution, most of the game lands is made up of 80-year-old or older forest. So we started looking out areas that we could treat or essentially cut, regenerate, where we would have that early successional habitat that ruffed grouse need. And when we looked at the maps, we were able to determine that there's this nice bench down off the top of the mountain. It's got a southerly exposure. It'd be a really good area that we could come in and regenerate the site. Unfortunately, the distance to the road is too far and the quality of the timber isn't good enough. So working with our forestry department, we came in, we laid out the road, surveyed it, determined the actual distance that we needed to improve, and then we came in and we put a blue boundary around the outside of it. We were able to determine that that was 130 acres, and all we did was followed the line of the bench. One of the other things that we have out across the top, because this is the Kittatinny Ridge, we have a 400-meter buffer that extends off the top of the ridge where we're trying to keep it in forest. So while this fell within a little bit of that buffer, the fact that we're replacing old forest with new forest, we were able to fit that into the management plan, and we knew that that would work. So the forestry department came out, we laid out this road, and that's what Dwight's pushing in right now. The way that we're improving the road, we're not making a super highway here. We're not even going to stone it. The goal of this is just to be able to get a four-wheel drive vehicle in here so we can get in with our saws, with our gas and oil, and be able to regenerate this stand. So we're using a track loader here in the background, you can see, and he's just pushing out an area that's wide enough for us to gain access with. We're going to back drag this when we're finished, and then we'll end up seeding it to a grass clover mix, which will actually be a nice little strip out the top of the mountain for turkeys and grouse to be able to come in, catch bugs, and bring their broods into. So when we're done here, this is going to look completely different. Behind me you should see a little grassy strip going out through. We're going to be standing in the middle of probably head-high saplings 5 years from now, and then along that edge of the road we'll have these soft mass producing orchards planted. So we're going to go from a blueberry, we have some maple, some oak, overstory, to an area that's going to be thick where you may not even be able to see 10 yards into that thicket, and it's going to completely change the composition, but it's still going to be forest. It's just going to be a new future forest growing. Here we are in another location, and you can see this is a cut that was done approximately 10 years ago. And this is the type of habitat that we're trying to create up where we were earlier, showing the grouse road being pushed in. Total difference. If you remember what things looked like there, we had no understory, the mature overstory, and you can see here, you could be standing in there 25 feet and you'd be invisible. And this is the type of habitat that early successional species, including grouse, need. You know, you want that, and this is just starting to get to where it's going to be good grouse habitat. You know, you're starting to get that 10 to 15-year-old growth, and whitetails, rabbits, and a whole host of songbirds are in there. You can tell the difference. You can hear the birds singing here. There's just a lot more diversity of wildlife, and it's just really good quality habitat. So this here is what we're hoping 15 years from now, when we're up there where we put that road in, that this is what we're going to have.
I hope you enjoyed watching what our efforts are accomplishing. If you did, please consider joining the Ruffed Grouse Society today. The Lehigh Valley Chapter of the Ruffed Grouse Society is a wonderful way to not only enjoy the camaraderie of fellow members, but you also help the ruffed grouse grow in its numbers. Thank you.